My name is Essence, and today I'll be doing my presentation on women, men, and polygamous relationships. Alright, to start off, when we hear the term marriage, what do we think of? Normally, in the United States, we would think of marriage being between one man and one woman. We see this in the Christian church as well as the Catholic church, and this is monogamy. Well, I'm going to introduce you to a new term, polygamy. I will also be analyzing the two genders, men and women, and also two religions, and to make the claim that polygamy should be illegal no matter the religion or no matter the place. Alright, so according to the dictionary, polygamy is the practice or custom of being married to more than one person at the same time. A quote from Burton: polygamy is illegal and criminalized across Europe, the Americas, as well as China. However, there are still places and religions who still practice polygamy to this day. So those two religions that I'm going to be talking to you about is the Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormon Religion, and the Islam religion. Alright, so just a little bit about the Mormon religion. In 1823, there was a man named Joseph Smith, and he claimed he was visited by a Christian angel who spoke to him of Hebrew text. So Joseph Smith took a few years to understand and translate that Hebrew text into English, and later in 1830, he would publish the Book of Mormon, which was a translation of the Hebrew text that he was spoken to about. And also in 1830, he founded the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is also called just the Mormon Church. So he grew this religion pretty fast. So he gained a lot of followers, and he started to put more churches and communities such as Ohio, Missouri, and Illinois. Now, although it was growing and he had a lot of followers and believers, the Christian sect was also heavily criticized for its unorthodox practices, such as polygamy. Smith would just encourage his followers to partake in these plural marriages because he believed that it was the most holy and important doctrine known to man. So obviously these people felt that they needed to do this in order to get closer to God. Now it gets pretty bad. He starts convincing young girls to become one of his wives, and one of the girls was as young as 14 years old. And that's just when we start to see manipulation come in. And so these women didn't really have a say in these polygamous relationships. And in one extreme case, two brothers were found guilty of murdering their sister-in-law and her daughter because she didn't believe in polygamy, which is really sad. So as I said, we start to see the abuse and manipulation start coming into the Mormon communities. Women were often told what to do, and they weren't allowed to have different opinions. And this is sad because they had to submit themselves to these men who had more than one wife. So they were lacking that attention and emotional connection with their husbands because they had these separate families. So people started to get outraged with the Mormon community, and there were a bunch of riots, and the government started to get involved and kind of investigate. And one day, Joseph Smith was actually shot and killed by a mob of anti-Mormons. So then his members started to say, hey, this really isn't a good thing. We shouldn't keep having these polygamous relationships. So they started to denounce polygamy. And then a little after that, in 1862, the United States government started to pass laws against polygamy. And then once the Supreme Court started to see that these anti-polygamy laws were constitutional, in 1879, federal officials actually began to prosecute polygamists, anybody who was still trying to have these polygamy relationships. So today it is still illegal, but it is practiced secretly. And on this slide, I have a picture of a famous TV show back in 2010 called Sister Wives. And it was a polygamous family in Utah, which is where most Mormons reside today. So the husband, Cody Brown, had 4 wives, as you see in the picture. He got away with having 4 wives because he was legally married to his first wife, while the other women were just spiritual unions, which is just another way to try to get away with polygamous relationships. And actually, his first wife divorced him after he started playing favorites with the wives, and he was being very manipulative and just not really, didn't have her best interest. So that is just an example of a polygamous relationship that is pretty well known. All right, now on to Islam and polygamy. So, like polygamy in the Mormon community, the Islam religion practiced it, and it is still legal today, but it is not mandatory. So, polygamy is allowed only in a stressful situation to provide security to orphans, divorcees, and widows, according to Ahmed. So, actually, in the Quran, there is a verse that says that men and women can have an unlimited number of kind of partners. So obviously, the Muslim people follow the Quran, and they believe in this. So it is that is why it's still legal. But although polygamy is supported by some religions, most notably Islam, it is an unequal form of marriage that undermines women's equality rights, according to Kaufman. And I believe this is true because women aren't allowed to have more than one husband because it's unholy. Only men are. So that's right there is just an example of how it is not equal. And also going along with the Mormon church, these women don't really have a say. They are allowed to get divorced, but it is very hard for them to actually pursue the divorce because oftentimes the men are very abusive and they will do anything to try to not get divorced to these women, even though the women do want out. So just like the Mormon church, it's pretty much the same as in terms of being manipulative and just not really caring about women at all. So I believe that women deserve respect, and I don't think these polygamous relationships give the respect that women deserve. Not only can it get physically violent, but this can also take a toll on their mental state as well. They're not getting the attention that they need, and just they don't feel loved. So we've seen polygamy in 2 different religions, both legal and illegal. And I don't believe that polygamy should be practiced today. Women should be respected. They should be able to have a say. And I just don't think that these men realize the damage they are causing on these young girls and even their families. All right, and here is my works cited page. Thank you.